Hi lovelies, this video is why I'm disgusted with the fact that Children's Services went to Fathering Autism's home. When I saw the video thumbnail, I'm like, what? Like, I really couldn't believe it, process it. And I do a lot of listening to YouTube videos because I'm an autism mom. I'm at work a lot, driving in traffic, whatever, so I get it in where I can fit it in. And let's back up. Let's say a year ago, one of my subbies told me when, I was, doing videos about Ava's autism, and she also had disabled children, for me to go look at Fathering Autism channel. And I really liked it. As I said, I did a video on I really feel he's charismatic, I really like the family or whatever, and you can pretty much tell they're good people. Like, you can really tell that this isn't a show, they're not faking, they're really good people, right? So that's why I feel their channel has grown, and that's why I feel like people like them. When Children's Services, when I watched the video about Children's Services coming to their house, I was immediately disgusted. Because everybody has an opinion. Everybody has a right to an opinion. But and I found the blogs online talking about them, and I will get to that later. But everybody has a right to their opinion. But once your opinion crosses the line is when you get in the government involved in people's business. Okay, that's when you crossing the line. And my opinion was that whoever called them people has no idea what real abuse is. Like, has no concept. And even reading some of the comments on this blog I found that's against them, these people have no freaking concept of what true abuse is. Okay? Meaning, even the things they complain about is very petty. Right? Very petty, very subjective, very to no extreme, right? And I'm sitting there, and he's like, DSS came, well, it's called Department of Social Services in Massachusetts. DSS came, and I'm like, why? And then he lists the reasons why, and I'm like, they got to be fucking kidding me. And excuse my French, they gotta be fucking kidding me. That they called Department of Social Services for this bullshit. Because having a disabled child is no joke. Having a severely disabled child is no joke. In dealing with this on a daily basis, it's not easy. It's not done well by some people. It's done well by others. And they, by no stretch of what they're putting for us to consume, like, I don't know what happens after they turn off the camera, but for us to consume is showing stellar parenting. Stellar parenting. They actually discuss how they're going to treat the situation. They talk to therapists. They work it out. They do research. They're not just like, oh, we're just gonna do it this way and fucking get over it. This is what we're doing. Someone said the child didn't have access to food. And I'm sitting here like, I watch these videos enough, and Abby be snacking her butt off. So I'm like, what are we talking about here? And he'll say, you just ate dinner. And if you have an autistic child that's nonverbal, mine is nonverbal. If I gave her juice, those little juices, she would drink 20 of them because she likes it. I have to be the parent and say, you can have one. You can have two. We have had a half an hour meltdown after she done had 3 or 4 of them because I wouldn't give her the 5th. Okay? So, once you understand that, and Asa has said this in the video, that if she could just constantly eat, she would. And I understand that. not eat because my kid got feeding issues, but if I gave her as much juice as she wanted, she will drink and drink and drink and drink. So the child is not malnourished. You see her giving snacks all the time. You see the lunch Priscilla sends to school, right? I'm sitting there like, you really had a nerve to put that on paper? Then the second thing, locking the bedroom. So, on the flip side, let's say they didn't lock the bedroom. And they sleep, Abby walking the neighborhood, someone could abduct her, someone could hit her by a car, someone could hurt her, she could end up in that pool. Then what? These are safety precautions for a child that does not understand danger. Really? Safety precautions. I was sitting in my room and I hear my back door open and close, open and close. Now we're in Boston, we're in an apartment, it's a multi-family. We weren't really leaving our personal back door closed, but the house back door is locked, right? Ava is back there opening and closing the back. I thought it was my mother opening and closing the back door, but she didn't know how to do this before. And I walk out there and she's at the top of the steps. We're on the second floor in the back door. So now I need to lock the back door. Okay? You live, you learn. So what am I supposed to leave it open? Ava and me sleep in the same room for the reasons of her seizures. That's why we sleep in the same room. She does have a room. It doesn't have a bed in there at this point. Her bed's in here. And I close the door and we're locked. We're closed in here together. But if she was in her own room, I would close her in her own room and have a video monitor, and they do have a video monitor for her safety. It's called safety, because when you have an autistic child that doesn't understand danger, you have to have safety measures. Or what? That's abuse, because you're not restricting or facilitating their safety. Now back to people do not understand abuse. And I don't know who called and I don't know their background or whatever. But most people who have these opinions do not work for foster care agencies. Do not sit up there and take these kids from real abusive homes. Do not work group homes and all this stuff where real abuse is happening. I've worked a group home. And the stories you hear is freaking horrific on a level that you cannot believe is happening to children. Okay? I grew up in the inner city of Boston. I know people personally that were abused by their parents. And there's levels to this shit. There is levels, right? I'm not talking about just your regular ass whooping. Okay? I grew up in the generation you could beat your kids. Okay, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking on a level of human abuse. Okay? No, I'm not talking about the ass one, because you could beat your kids, literally. My mother could come to school and whip my ass in front of the teacher in the 80s. And nothing happened. They don't call nobody. They don't do anything. She was acting out of pocket. You got it in line. That's a wrap. Clearly something you can't do today, but that's what you could do back in the day. So let me flip side. So let's say DSS came to the Fathering Autism's house and they took Abby from their home. Do you really feel she would have been treated better in foster care? You know who the #1 abusers get abused in foster care? A lot of them get abused, but the #1 is the people who can't voice against their predators. They can't. Abby cannot voice against a predator. So you're telling me that you felt watching these videos, the same videos I freaking watch, that this child was being abused? I think you need to take a trip down to your local shelters, your local children's shelters. I think you need to take a foster parent class. Take those 6 weeks. I don't even care if you get a kid. Take those 6 weeks classes and realize what real abuse looks like. You need to educate yourself. Educate yourself, because it seems like you're coming from a viewpoint of no knowledge. Of no knowledge. Now let's back up. Abby goes to school. There's people in and out of their house all the time. We're talking nanny, we're talking the ABA therapist, you know, she's at school or whatever, okay? I'm sure all of those people are mandated reporters, and they see what happens after the lights go out. So if none of them are reporting them people, how are you reporting them for some shit you see for 10 minutes or less on YouTube? Now this ain't like the Daddy 05. He was straight abusing them kids on camera. Straight abusing. But how do you even figure when you see the child eat snacks? I done seen her eat cereal bars, chips, all types of stuff. You see her eat. And they said they had a meal. But she doesn't have access to food. Now they said the reason they closed the cabinets is because she will go through them, do all types of things, take what she wants, whatever. It's not a restriction. Her brother can go in there and eat what he wants. The point is, autism is not set up to give them access to everything. That's called being a freaking parent. So if Abby was 200 pounds, then you'd be ready to take Abby out because she overweight. They're overfeeding her. They're indulging her. There's always alternate opinions. Okay? Now the reason I personally like Fathering Autism, I like their videos. They didn't have to do nothing for me to watch their videos, because I really like them. I really think they're good people, honestly. I reached out to them. Just some random girl with an autistic child from Boston. I had reached out to them. I had sent them my book. They showed it on camera. I did a video. Asa got back to me in the comments. I'm like, damn, these people are cool. But now I want to address the online bullshit. They're exploiting their child. They're showing meltdowns. They're blah, blah, blah. Here's my beef. Autism ain't pretty all the time. I like it when y'all drapes across these Asperger things, these high functioning people. And they have their challenges too, don't get me wrong. But they're the poster child for autism, and the real down and dirty, severe end of the spectrum is never really publicized. It's never put out there. I remember Cooper's Voice. She did a whole thing. It went viral about the part of autism that's never publicized, that's not shown in the media, okay? The fact is, meltdowns are real. Meltdowns are real for children who present in a way that the person sitting next to you in the restaurant is just like, what the frick's up with that kid? Blah, blah, blah. They're just not beating her enough. They're just, oh my God, how are they letting this happen? Or whatever. And he's showing the real part of autism. See, that's the part you're missing. Like they're showing her meltdowns, because meltdowns are real. They're a real thing. You know what I mean? And their thing is education. So they are educating you on how they deal with it. And there has been several situations where they took Abby out of that situation. They don't force her to sit there or force the other people to deal with that. But this is what they're showing you, the truth. That it ain't all roses in lollipops. It's not all roses and lollipops. There's a level that these parents have to go through, and they're educating you, okay? Now, the thing about they're exploiting their child for a check. No, sorry, they're taking care of her future. That's a whole flip side. Do you really feel that this government, I don't care which political way you lean, because I don't think the Democrats do it any better than the damn Republicans, that this government takes care of the disabled? I don't know where the hell you've been, but that is not a case. You fight for everything. That's why they have these civil rights lawyers fighting for disability checks that don't cover everything. Do you see what I'm saying? They're taking care of her future. Okay? They're going to lawyers. They're setting things up. Actually, something I need to do personally myself as a special needs trust. They're making sure she is taken care of. Okay? Are you going to cut them a check for them not to be on YouTube and take care of Abby in the future? Then I feel you should have nothing to say. Unless you're going to open up your wallet and send Fathering Autism the money to take care of her, that child, she's what, 13, 14 now, for the rest of her damn life, do you need to shut the fuck up. That's just my opinion. Okay? And you had a right to your opinion to call DSS. I have a right to mine. And yes, I am swearing, because this government isn't going to take care of Abby for the rest of her life. Not in the way she's accustomed. You know what happens to disabled people who don't have family? Educate yourself. Educate yourself. What happens when the grandmother dies and they were taking care of the autistic adult? Have you seen those sob stories? And where they go and where they end up? I don't think you do. So I really feel that whoever sent them to their house was not educated and was dead wrong. And I say that being an autism mom myself to a nonverbal child. Okay? I say that myself. In my opinion of why I just felt so disgusted when I found out the information leading up to this. And as you know, they said there's garbage people in the world and they're just gonna have to suck it up. But I mean, autism is real and they're showing the real. And if that makes you uncomfortable, then turn the shit off. But the reality is there's a lot of parents dealing with this, a lot. And they get comfort and knowing that they are not alone, because autism can be very lonely for parents dealing with this. When your neurotypical families have no idea and have no sympathy or no empathy for these families. So that's my thing. Like, comment, subscribe if you like my content. But I had to say something.